organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
On this edition of Daily Iowan TV, Schools on the Edge. Find out how Iowa public schools may have to revamp their grading scales.
Greek Gone Pink, learn how one sorority is raising awareness for breast cancer.
And in sports, we continue to step up our coverage ahead of a big homecoming matchup with the Spartans.
That's all coming up next.
This is Daily Iowan TV.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Hello and welcome to our Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Jacob Esser.
And I'm Rebecca Swibes. With all this beautiful weather to talk about, we're going to toss it over to our weather anchor, Tiara Simpson, for a special report. Tiara?
Thanks, guys. Here's a quick update. As you can see, today was a beautiful day of fall, but it almost felt like summer. These temperatures we've been having exceeded last year's temperature by quite a bit. October 2nd, 2012, the high was 69 degrees, while today's high was 83. This summer weather is running out, unfortunately. I'll be back later in the show to tell you what you can expect.
Thanks for that, Tiara. Public schools in Iowa just aren't making the cut according to the latest ACT results. Our own Tasha Woods has the story.
Reports show that over half the schools in Iowa fell below the educational targets set by the No Child Left Behind Act. This comes as a shock, as Iowa is one of the leading states in ACT scores. The Iowa ACT score average was 22.1 in the past academic year. It takes a score of 20 or higher to predict whether or not a student will succeed in a college education. Students are tested for their proficiency in English, math, reading, and science. Iowa City's City High School is above even this average with a score of 24. They are very proud of their academic achievement, and John Bacon, principal of the school, shares their pride in the students' achievement.
Education is valued at a very high level in this community, and I'm sure it's valued in other places as well. But with the University of Iowa here, there's no question this is a highly educated community and a great tradition of excellence in education in the Iowa City schools.
Iowa City West High School also had some impressive numbers to report with an average composite ACT score of 26.1. However, Jerry Argenbright, principal at West High School, says that the standards set by No Child Left Behind are unrealistic.
What's happening is it was a gradual trajectory for many years where the goals were more, I believe fair to say, more realistic. At the end here of the J curve, it's spiking as we get towards 100% proficiency that is required.
In order to reach the set standards, all students must be proficient in science, math, and reading by 2015. This means they must rank above 40%. Tasha Woods, Daily Iowan TV.
UI students now have a new way to gain health care. The Affordable Care Act has been in place as of yesterday and is part of President Obama's health care law. UIHC's spokesman Tom Moore gave advice for young individuals. He said, the more the people learn about what is available, the better decisions they will be able to make. Officials stress the importance of seeking information about the act now, rather than later. You can visit the website below for more information.
October 1st marked the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This month was created for a number of organizations, associations, and the government agencies. They work together to promote awareness and provide greater access to services. The UI campus sorority Zeta Tau Alpha adopted the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation as its national philanthropy. For some of the girls, the organization means much more.
My favorite thing about our philanthropy is that it hits close to home. Many of the girls in our chapter have been affected by breast cancer. One girl, her mom, is a survivor of breast cancer. Another girl had lost her mom to breast cancer.
Zeta's Philanthropy 5K for breast cancer will be held on October 27th at Upper City Park.
Coming up later in the show, we have our own Alyssa Bergamini to tell us what's been buzzing around Iowa City.
And later in sports, we sit down with the head coach of women's soccer, Ron Rainey.
It's harvest time here in Iowa City, and everyone knows what that means. It's pumpkin season. Local business owner of Wilson's Orchard, Paul Roche, spoke about his pumpkin patch. He said that the dry weather we've been having actually helps pumpkins fight off diseases and improve their quality. We're going to toss it back over to our Tiara Simpson to tell us if this dry weather will continue. Tiara?
Well, that dry weather we've been having should be off and on during the next week. Tomorrow morning will be a brisk 68 degrees, but moving into the afternoon, the temperature should rise to a breezy 79. By that evening, that temperature will dip to 75 degrees. Looking ahead to the extended forecast, Friday will be 86 with a 30% chance of a thunderstorm. However, Saturday will cool off with temperatures at 68. Sunday will bring cloudy skies and a chilling 55 degrees. This will carry on for Monday and Tuesday when temperatures will rise to the high 60s and low 70s. Well, that's all I have for your weather forecast. It looks like you better bundle up this weekend. Back to you two at the desk.
Iowa SJMC.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere?
I joined and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
I joined and now I'm working in public relations for diabetes research.
SJMC.
Now let's take a look at some news beyond Iowa. President Obama has canceled his trips to the Philippines and Malaysia due to the current government shutdown. Obama officials were unable to plan the trip set for Saturday. Obama met with lawmakers on Wednesday morning to discuss the situation, but no compromise was reached.
New York Times bestselling author Tom Clancy has died. The 66-year-old passed away Tuesday night due to an undisclosed cause of death. Clancy was known for his thrilling novels. A movie based on one of his books is set to be released this Christmas.
Now it's time for our Wednesday segment, Hawkeye Buzz, with our own Alyssa Bergamini. Alyssa?
Happy Wednesday, guys, and welcome back to Hawkeye Buzz. As you all know, it's homecoming week here in Iowa, and students around campus have already spread their Hawkeye spirit. This Sunday kicked off the homecoming week, and since there's still a lot of events left, let's take a quick look at what we can look forward to for the rest of the week. Interested in sports? Well, if so, it's your lucky day. Stop by the UA Athletics Hall of Fame at 6 p.m. tonight for a meet and greet with Iowa's greatest athletes from the past. And even better, you get a chance to get their autographs. Dancing, singing, and costumes. Don't miss out on Iowa Shout this Thursday, where students will put on a catchy performance that focuses around this year's homecoming motto, Countless Hawkeyes, One Spirit. All students should come out and show their Iowa pride. And last but certainly not least, personally my favorite event, the Homecoming Parade. The parade takes place this Friday starting at 5:45 p.m. You don't want to miss this homecoming tradition filled with fancy floats and fantastic food. And just in case you miss out on the crowning of the homecoming king and queen, make sure you tune in next week to catch an interview with the new royalties of the University of Iowa. As you can see, guys, lots of exciting activities for this homecoming week, so come on out and show your Hawkeye love. That's all for me today. Jacob and Rebecca, back to you two.
Thanks, Alyssa. I'm really excited about the parade. I love parades.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the game, that's for sure. It's going to be a good one. And while we're at it, let's toss it over to sports so we can hear more.
Thanks, guys. It certainly should be. We've got a lot for you on the program tonight as we ramp up our coverage ahead of this week's homecoming matchup against the Michigan State Spartans. But first, let's start off with some women's soccer. More than halfway through the season, Ron Rainey's squad is sporting a 9-2 overall record. However, they're struggling thus far in the Big Ten Conference, just 1-2 through three games. Our very own Taylor Axelson caught up with Coach Rainey as they prepare to take on the conference-leading Cornhuskers tomorrow to discuss the team's progress thus far and their aspirations for the rest of the season.
This is Taylor Axelson. I'm out here with head coach Ron Rainey of the UI Women's Soccer Program. So, you have had the most two successful seasons in the past. So tell me, now that the girls are headed into the Big Ten tournament, or not the Big Ten tournament, but the Big Ten season, has the energy changed a little bit with the girls? Are they more excited? What's going on with them?
I think that we know that we have to play our best games of the year to get results in the Big Ten. It's an incredibly competitive conference, but I also think that everybody really looks forward to these weeks and these days, and practices have been, I think, cleaner, and there has been a lot of really good energy.
Towards the end of the seasons, the headlines have said something along the lines of a late goal has been passed and Iowa has fallen. So, not saying that they can't pull a game out in the end, but what are you doing this season and during practices and stuff to make sure that doesn't happen this season?
You know, it's a lot of these games are now one-goal games, and so figuring out and in the heat of them, making really good decisions out on the field, either defensively or offensively, talking to our players in practice about how good they have to be through long stretches of games. So there isn't just that one moment in a game that you can look back on and say, this was the turning point. Now, in that same way, that's our sport. A lot of games that are really, really close, and you talk about 7 or 8 moments in a game that if you can get a little bit better, then a lot of those one-goal games will go our way.
So what are you going to do this year as a coach to really inspire these girls to hopefully make it through that Big Ten tournament at the end?
You know, I think our team now has seen and been to the Big Ten tournament and not had as much success there. And so I do think that they now have that experience. And if we are lucky enough to go through these next 10 games and qualify for it, I do think that they have the confidence to know in that week anything can really happen. We have to just stay focused on our next game and our next weekend of games and then our next set of practices. And if we do that, I think some of the things will take care of themselves. But the team now has experience and has experienced success, and so I think those things will make these next 6 weeks really special.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really wish you the best of luck with the rest of the season. So that's it for me. Back to you guys in the studio.
We now turn our attention back to the gridiron as Kirk Ferentz's crew prepares for a homecoming showdown with the Spartans. Hawks are 4-1 on the season after losing their first game to Northern Illinois, and they're riding a 4-game winning streak. While the Iowa Hawkeyes sport the 7th best defense in the nation, the offense should not be forgotten. Our own Kevin Glick has more.
When the 2012 season ended, Hawkeye fans were left with a bitter taste in their mouth after watching Greg Davis's offense. The team sputtered, averaging just under 300 yards per game, and featured numerous play calls short of the first down marker. But in its second year under new starting quarterback Jake Rudock, the passing offense has made huge improvements when it comes to yardage per play. Last year on offense, James Vandenberg averaged 5.6 yards per attempt with an average completed pass of 9.9 yards, both of which ranked 120th out of 124 FBS teams. But this year, passing plays have gone up more than 3 yards per attempt, up to 8 yards, good for 37th in the country. Yards per completion is up too, all the way up to 13.5 yards per catch. Those extra 4.5 yards make a big difference between punting the ball or keeping a drive alive. Part of the increase in yards per completion this season is through the use of the deep pass. The Hawks already have 8 players with a catch of 20 yards or more this season, and if you average out the long catches of those 8 receivers, it comes out to 38.1 yards per toss. Last season featured only 8 players having a 20-yard catch or more all season for an average of 33.5 yards. The reason for that increase? Damon Powell. The junior college transfer is averaging a staggering 51.5 yards per haul, including a blazy 74-yard touchdown where he recovered those 74 yards in just over 8 seconds from catch to end zone. And with the second-rated rushing defense in Michigan State coming to town this Saturday, Jake Rudock and co. are going to need to get the passing game going early and often. Kevin Glick, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Unfortunately, that's all we have for you on the program tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a homecoming edition of Pregame as the Hawks prepare to battle the Spartans this Saturday at historic Kinnick Stadium. Until then, Jacob, Rebecca, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jordan. Besides Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October is also Adopt a Shelter Dog Month, too. CBS has premiered a new TV show that displays shelter dogs being rescued, trained, and eventually given to a new family for 22 weeks. The show, Lucky Dog, is set to air on Saturday morning on CBS.
Now that's a great idea.
I'm really excited. I kind of think I should give it a try. I love dogs.
I think you should too.
I'm good with with the dogs.
I've seen you in dogs. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Daily Iowan TV is the only place to get a sneak peek into Thursday's pages of the Daily Iowan. A dramatic conclusion. See what downtown building is nearing the end of its renovation.
And read about how Iowa legislator may be legalizing medical marijuana by the spring session.
Well, that's your most current edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great night.